The storm ripped through the city like an angry beast, rattling the windows of skyscrapers and drowning out the faint sound of a woman's muffled cries. Somewhere in a dimly lit warehouse on the edge of town, a powerful CEO named Isabella Reed sat bound to a chair, her wrists raw from the rope and her heart pounding against her ribs. She had built an empire with nothing but grit and ambition, yet now, she was just another pawn in the hands of men who wanted to extort her wealth. Outside, the rain hit the pavement in relentless sheets, but amidst the chaos, a figure was moving closer, a single father who no one suspected harbored a secret that could change everything. Liam Carter was not an ordinary man. To the world, he was a widowed mechanic, raising his 8-year-old daughter Lily with quiet strength after losing his wife in a tragic accident 3 years ago. But hidden beneath his calm demeanor lay a gift, superhuman strength, speed, and an acute sense of hearing that allowed him to pick up whispers a mile away. He had kept his powers buried, terrified of exposing his daughter to the kind of danger that would come with them. But when news broke that Isabella Reed, the very woman whose foundation had funded Lily's school programs, had been kidnapped, something in him snapped. This wasn't just a woman in trouble. This was someone who had unknowingly helped his daughter live a better life. And he couldn't stand by. The city's police scrambled uselessly, negotiating over phones and monitoring empty streets, while Liam listened to the faintest trace of her voice through the storm, a trembling plea carried on the air. He followed it, leaping from rooftop to rooftop with a silent precision no human could match, his mind torn between the promise he made to his late wife, to never reveal what he truly was, and the screaming urge in his chest to save this woman before it was too late. Inside the warehouse, Isabella fought to keep her composure. The men circling her had demanded millions in ransom, and though her company could afford it, she knew paying them would only make her a target forever. Fear clawed at her throat, but so did something else. A quiet resilience that refused to break. She thought of her younger brother who relied on her, her employees who admired her, and the promises she made to herself as a girl growing up in poverty, never to be powerless again. Yet now, bound and helpless, her resolve wavered, until the roof groaned above her, and a dark silhouette dropped silently into the shadows. Liam moved like the storm itself, swift and merciless. In a matter of seconds, 2 guards were disarmed, their weapons snapped like twigs. Isabella stared, her breath caught. Was he even real? His eyes met hers for the briefest moment, and in them she saw not just strength, but something achingly human: pain, sacrifice, and an unspoken promise that he would not let her suffer. "Stay quiet," he whispered, his voice low but steady. She nodded, trusting a man she'd never met because something about him radiated safety. The rescue was not clean. Alarms blared, footsteps thundered, and a gunshot echoed through the night, grazing Liam's arm. Pain burned through him, but he pushed on, lifting Isabella as though she weighed nothing, his legs carrying them both across the rain, slick rooftops until the warehouse was nothing but a distant blur. They hid beneath an old bridge, his breath ragged, her fingers clutching his jacket like an anchor. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice trembling. He only shook his head. "Someone who couldn't let you disappear." In the days that followed, the city was in uproar. The kidnappers were caught, their plan exposed, but the man who had single-handedly saved Isabella had vanished. Except he hadn't. Liam had gone back to his small, simple life, patching up his arm with a grimace and pretending nothing had happened. But Isabella couldn't forget the way he had looked at her in the storm, or how safe she had felt in his arms. She launched her own search, combing through security footage, until she found him, standing outside a modest school, holding an umbrella over his daughter's head, a faint smile softening his sharp features. When she approached him, he tried to deny it, to push her away with polite words. But Isabella was not the type to be turned aside. "You risked everything for me," she said, standing in the rain once more. "And I don't even know your name." He looked at her then, the walls around his heart trembling. "Liam Carter," he murmured, "and I did what anyone would do." "No," she whispered, stepping closer, "not anyone." They began to meet quietly, at first to thank him, then to understand him. She learned about his daughter, his struggles as a single parent, the nights he spent fixing cars until dawn just to keep the bills paid. And he learned about her, not the CEO, but the woman who carried the weight of 1,000 responsibilities, yet still found time to smile at strangers. Their bond deepened. forged not out of wealth or power, but shared scars and a quiet longing neither had admitted to themselves until now. But love never comes without its battles. When the media caught wind of their connection, reporters swarmed, and whispers of his strange heroics began to surface. Liam faced a choice: retreat into the shadows again, or step into the light and risk everything to be by her side. It was Lily, small and wise beyond her years, who placed her tiny hand on his and said, "Dad, Mom would want you to be happy. You don't have to hide to protect me. We can be brave together." And so he chose to stay, chose to stand beside Isabella as the world questioned him, doubted him, even feared him. She defended him with the same fire she used to build her empire. And in the quiet moments between the storms, they found something worth fighting for, a love born not of perfection, but of courage and second chances. Months later, standing on the balcony of her rebuilt headquarters, Isabella leaned into Liam's side as Lily giggled in the background, chasing raindrops on the glass. The city below still buzzed with rumors of the mysterious savior, but to them, it didn't matter. What mattered was that in a world where power often corrupted and wealth often divided, two broken souls had found each other in the rain and built something stronger than either could have alone. Because sometimes heroes aren't born to save the world. Sometimes they just need to save one person, and in doing so, find the missing piece of their own.